I think one thing that great coaches always do is assume that they're always a little wrong. They're always looking at what they do, their practices, their beliefs, their philosophies, and they're the ones more than anyone else trying to poke holes in it, trying to find what they're missing, not just assuming because it's working or it has worked in the past, it's right. I think great coaches look at what they do and they really try to criticize it, critique it. They look for what's wrong. They seek feedback. They're always trying to find better ways of doing things. It's important for coaches to approach this way. And what I've heard someone say before is updating their coaching philosophy, their coaching practices. They're never kind of stuck in their ways. They're always looking for something that might be different from what they assume is correct. And this is especially true when you see or talk with someone who doesn't believe the same things you do, that may have a completely different philosophy. To be very quick to dismiss it or just think they're wrong or they don't get it is not the right way to do it. Great coaches, I think, are very interested in hearing and learning from other coaches who don't see things the way they do. They know by doing that they can learn and update their ways of doing things and see, either are they missing something? Is there something, within this coach's approach that, would be beneficial to mine? Or maybe if you can look at it the right way, you see it and it just maybe reaffirms that, hey, I've listened to what this coach does, that's what I do. I still feel this is right. But we get stuck, I think, in our ways as coaches, and we kind of, especially with dealing with players and parents, just assume everyone else is wrong and I'm right, especially when we're being questioned. And I'll give you an example. If you just got done running a training session and a parent comes up to you and says, hey, great job. Often we'll be like, oh, thank you. Great, appreciate that. But if the same parent came up and said, hey, I have some concerns about what you did, we'd immediately question their knowledge, understanding to even have, the right to come up and question what we're doing. So when someone's reaffirming what we did, we feel that, hey, that reaffirm is acceptable. They appreciate what they saw. I mean, that obviously we're validating their understanding of what they just saw, and we're accepting the praise. But when someone critiques it, we immediately, can get defensive and defend what we've done and immediately critique the other person's stance and how they're looking what we're doing. It's just one example, but that's exactly what kind of a lot of coaches, that trap they'll fall into is that when they receive critique from whoever, it's immediate we try to defend our position versus really trying to listen to hear from the other person, especially with parents, even with players. Again, the same person who praises what you do, you'll accept. And again, when you do that, you're kind of also saying that they understand what they're looking at and they know what a great session looks like, and you're validating their praise. And then if they critique it, you wouldn't do that. So it's very important to think about how we approach our views of our training, our philosophies, and our approach, and always be looking for other opinions and seeing what we're missing, looking for and that's a short way of saying it's how we could be wrong. And then when we do that, we're continuously updating, continuously improving, continuously getting better. That's the old adage that we're always trying to look to improve. And I think everyone would agree with that. But often that process is not something many coaches really want to go through, because that often means that we have to look at what we're doing currently and admit that it's not as good as we think.